Okay, so it's getting pretty warm in the house right now, and it's actually around 76 degrees right now. When I walked into the house, it was a perfect 72 degrees, so I mean, I can't really get it to duplicate what it's doing for the customer right now. However, we're going to run some tests on it just to see what the airflow looks like on the system, okay? And so we're going to take the static pressure, check. I have my field piece meter, and I have the manometer that comes, that you can get with it. So they have the analog magnehelic manometers that you can use, and some people swear by them. I've never had a problem with my field piece. It always reads true for me, so that's why I've stuck with the digital. So let's check the return side first, okay? So we've got holes drilled here. We've got a hole drilled here, and we've got a hole obviously drilled right there where the thermometer's in. The next point after the coil that you want to check would be at the supply plenum. And so since since that supply is like wrapping around to here, that's what I want to check. So okay, here guys, so right now on the return side I'm reading 0.2, 0.3 inches water column of static pressure coming on the return side of the system. Now if I was anywhere from like 0.5 to 0.1 or to 1.0, we know we would have a problem on the return end, maybe a restriction, maybe double filtration or something like that. But to me right now the system doesn't seem to be sucking too hard on the inside. 0.2, 0.3 means you got a clean filter and plenty of return air coming into the system. So now let's check for total external static pressure. We want to check the return and the end of the furnace for total external static. Okay guys, so right now we're reading on the supply side of the furnace, we're reading 0.4, 0.5. So that means between return and supply end of the furnace, where you read your total external static pressure, the manufacturer recommends 0.5 inches total, meaning, you know, maybe 1 or 2 there, and then like maybe 3 or 4 there. Right now I'm at 0.2, 0.3, and I'm at 0.4, 0.5 total external, or 0.4, 0.5 on the supply, which means that my total external static is 6 to 7 total external static. Now me personally, on these types of systems, 0.7 total external static to me is completely fine. If I was around the 1 inch or anything over 1 inch, I would have a problem with that. So knowing that I'm at 0.4, 0.5 there, what is my pressure drop across the coil to the supply? That's what I'm wanting to know. Is there some sort of restriction here that's making air backing up here? So now I'm at the plenum, supply plenum, and we're checking there. So we were at 0.4, 0.5 there. What are we by the time the air reaches the plenum after the coil? What's the pressure drop from the coil? So we're at, there we are, now we're at 0.3. We were at 0.4, 0.5. That means we have like a 0.2 pressure drop across the coil. That to me is healthy. That tells me that the coil's clean. That also tells me that I'm not getting that much of a restriction here. So as much as I would like to see this need to be changed, it doesn't really need to be changed, and we're proving it right now with the pressure drop test. So now I'm not saying anything's wrong with this system right now. In my mind, what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking the high limit has tripped so many times that the bimetal disc on it has become worn out, and it's breaking easier and easier every time. So my suggestion is to come back, replace this high limit switch, because I know as soon as I leave, it's going to trip on them again. So just based off of training experience, there's a bimetal disc on there that trips on high limit, and that's the only one that trips automatically, because we know it's not the manual ones, the manual flame rollouts, or the manual high limits that are inside at the blower, because those are manual. You need to manually reset those. Only the automatic one can reset itself, and so that's why I'm leaning towards replacing the high limit switch, and I think that'll alleviate all the problems. We've already replaced the gas valve. We've set it down to 3.3 inches water column. We know our blower motor's good. We know our airflow's good. We know our static pressure's good. You know, static pressure is like, you know, having high blood pressure in your veins. I explain it to people like cholesterol in your system. It starts blocking the arteries, and it makes it harder for your heart to work. Well, same thing here. If I had high static pressure or a high pressure drop across the coil, then that means that all the heat that's trying to get out of the system is being forced back. So as the air's getting supplied out, it can't get out. It's starting to back up towards the heater, which will trip that high limit switch. And I think with the bad gas valve that we had before, it was overheating so much. It was overheating so much that it was tripping the high limit so many times, and now that's become weakened. Our supply air temperature is great now that we have a good gas valve in there. So I'm going to recommend we change that. I might go get it right now, come back and replace it. My next appointment's not till noon, so I might go down there to York and get the OEM part. Hey guys, well, I tried to get a hold of the homeowner there to give him the chance to replace that high limit switch, but this is a rental, and sometimes you have to deal with that.
At the stop sign, then take the first right.
So I called him and let him know that that's what's going, you know, same thing I just told you guys, I let him know. And so we will just wait for his phone call. Pretty sure that
turn right at the stop sign, then take the first left.
Pretty sure that high limit is going to trip again on her, just because the bimetallic disc has become so weakened. You know, $200 repair for the customer.
Turn left.
We'll get that taken
light.
care of. It's an older system, but it's breathing properly. It's, you know, the airflow across the furnace, across the coil is good. We checked the static pressure. We know our gas valve is at 3.3. The high limit is set for 150 degrees and resets itself automatically.
Turn right.
It's the only high limit in that system that resets itself automatically. So we know if it was one of the manual reset buttons, it would have tripped, and someone would literally have to push the button to reset it. So that's why we can narrow it down to that. Or bad control board too, you know, and that's another possibility. So, but we weren't able to duplicate that today. If it would have tripped out, I would have been able to do some testing and let me know. But if you can't duplicate it, you can't call it. You can't say, oh, it's a bad control board, you know, that'll be $500, because that's not troubleshooting. That's just replacing parts.
Traffic is now flowing smoothly on your route.
All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to bring you on this one. It's been a little bit of a problem child for us, not only because we've been back multiple times, but it is about 25 miles away from our house. So it's it's kind of a long drive up here too. But no big deal. It's HVAC, and that's what we like to do.